this is gonna be different, and it's scaring me a bit. I'm a bit intimidated by this direction that Coach B has decided to take in terms of training. So, but I'm excited.
So your homework
Yes.
was to support Phantom Assassin.
Yes.
That I told him, coming into this, I need you to give me 3 replays of Phantom Assassin.
I have
So,
given you.
and I wanted him to not only because I've been talking about matchups in lane, and I've been talking about supporting each carry hero differently. So to add on to what we're already doing in lane, because I really feel like the generic 7 to 8 minutes, you have a good idea of solo XP, you have a good idea of pulling, you have a good idea of like securing range creeps. So I wanted to go in depth with him about specific matchups and learning to analyze them one hero at a time.
Banana slam jam.
So I feel like hopefully the goal is that if I can get you to analyze like how you support PA, for instance, that you can also kind of turn that into other heroes. Because if you know what the fundamentals of laning are, you can start to just ask how that applies to every single hero in the game. If PA needs you to secure her range creeps, if she wants you to pull, if she wants solo XP or to have you help her, like that's the kind of stuff where you can learn this for each hero. So I specifically gave you the homework of playing with PA. We chose PA because it's like pretty much every low MMR carry loves playing PA. It's definitely a hero you guys see
like
plenty
PA.
of. Yeah, and he likes PA. And it's also a pretty decent patch for PA at the highest levels, so seemed like a good hero to start with. Not exactly a mechanically difficult carry either. So pretty much anyone you ask to play it should be able to do it for you. But yeah, so are you ready for me to jump into this first game?
Coach, out of my three supports that I play, because I main like CM, Jakiro, and Shaman, right? Who is best paired with PA? Would it be like Shaman, I would think, because you get kills, or CM?
I think honestly all 3 of them are pretty good. I think
they cover ground, right?
Yeah,
because ground easily.
So the thing about CM is that she goes well with PA because PA doesn't need exactly a ton of like babysitting. She usually likes to be left a little bit alone. The aura is really nice for PA. PA doesn't necessarily rely on like saves either, so she doesn't need like a defensive support.
But she's not as limber a hero or as easy to get away as AM, right?
Yeah, I call it agile or mobile. Mobile.
Agile,
yeah. So the thing about PA that goes nice with CM is that she doesn't really need that much help, and then she goes nicely with Jakiro and Shaman because she doesn't threaten objectives. Like, she doesn't kill buildings at all for a long period of time. So you're always going to be lacking some building taking early game, potentially, if you're a PA. So having those 2 supports can be really nice. So with that in mind, I actually think you can pick any of them. I don't think that's particularly an issue. That is a good point, because certain heroes, like a Drow Ranger carry, for instance, wouldn't really want Shadow Shaman or CM, I think, for the most part, just because they usually want like a melee, bruiser, tanky, frontliner support. Yeah, Jakiro can be a little bit of that, But in PA's case, she's much more flexible with, as long as it's a support that's decent in lane, she's perfectly fine with it. But I'm going to go ahead and pull up that replay.
Yeah, the first actually I played with all 3 heroes with this one. The first 2 were lobbies because everyone was banning PA.
If it's a lobby, I don't know if I can see it.
Oh, you can?
No, I don't think I can actually.
Oh, you can't if it's a lobby. I didn't know that. Well,
I just learned it too. Well, then we got one. So
which is the unranked.
What we may be able to do then is
this is the worst one.
This is the worst one of them all, huh?
No, this is the worst one in terms of my movement, but there's a pretty sick juke that I did with Nyx here.
Okay. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. I actually forgot about that. The only way I could see the games technically would be, I believe, to have you like download the file and send it to me. It would be pretty lengthy, I think. Would it?
It would be lengthy.
That's something I would have had to know before the stream. It would take at least 10-15 minutes to get that done.
Oh, dude, I'm
Yeah,
so
no,
sorry,
no,
man.
no, all
I
good.
thought,
I didn't. That's hilarious that you're telling me everyone's banning PA. So what we can
everyone's
actually
banning PA. I'm
do
just like, so I said, let's do a lobby so I can play with PA. That's
now,
basically what
so how
that's
many
what I did.
actual ranked or unranked games did you play today?
Oh, I played. There's one with there's a really good one with AM here that we did. Where they had an all.
Honestly,
pretty much
Anti-Mage is pretty similar to PA. So I was
Yeah,
going to hear
okay.
what heroes you were supporting. Give me the Anti-Mage game first, and then we're going to do the PA game next.
That was a
And
PA unranked game. Yeah. Okay.
we'll do a little bit of a switch up, like adjustment here. What I'm going to do is we're going to go in depth about PA by comparing her to another hero and talking about that. So that's what we'll do. We'll segue into PA towards the end of the session, but we're not going to like binge 3 games of PA. That's what we'll do.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, coach. I really was trying to play PA with rank, but everyone was freaking banning the hero, man. I was just like,
I understand. Nobody bans Anti-Mage unless they don't want it on their team because nobody enjoys playing with Anti-Mage. But hey, he's a hero we see every day, so it's a hero we want to learn about.
yeah.
Okay, so
Hello.
we're going to compare
Hi,
and contrast some crucial characteristics of carry heroes, and then talking about... So the funny thing is, I'll give an example for people who commonly think about carry heroes and such, is Lifestealer and Jug. And a lot of times I'll hear basically that Lifestealer and Jug are the same hero, because Lifestealer and Jug are the 2 carries in the game with built-in magic immunity. They each have a skill that gives them magic immunity. And if you compare the 2 heroes, it's kind of interesting. They both have a 3rd skill that gives them some semblance of damage. Like now, Lifestealer has the attack speed and Jug has a crit. They have a sustain ability. Jug has the healing ward. Lifestealer has feast. Both of them have a magic immune ability, spin as opposed to rage. And both of them have like an invulnerability spell. One of them's Omni Slash, and the other one is Infest. And it's kind of funny if you think about it. If you look at like what the heroes' kits do, like they have 4 abilities that are basically the same. But at the same time, the way the 2 heroes play out is just so different. So some examples of why that is because Jug is an agility hero and Lifestealer is a strength hero. So the items they like to buy that give them damage are very different. You know, Jug naturally ends up with a lot more armor. He has a lower base attack speed, so he attacks faster. His healing ward is an AoE heal, while his Omni Slash is much more about damage. Feast is only a single target heal on the Lifestealer, and his ult is more about like working with somebody else to gank or like save somebody because it gives them HP. So the way they play out, it's like Jug likes to get initiated onto because he has healing ward sitting behind him, and he has Omni Slash to counter initiate. While Lifestealer with Infest likes to initiate onto people because he doesn't have like a way to suddenly dish out a shit ton of damage if he gets, bursted to low HP. So it's like in matchups, like if it's a matchup where they go on you, you'd much rather be a Jug. But if you have a matchup where where their heroes don't want to get gone on, you'd rather be a Lifestealer. Like they have squishy backliners that just need to die to burst at the start of the fight or something. So it's kind of interesting how you can take 2 heroes with very similar kits and make it so that their matchups are different. So a lot of times I would compare Anti-Mage and PA very similarly. This is going to be what we're basically doing for this series, guys, for the Gamecast for like 4 episodes, is teaching Eri how to think about carries. Because as a support, your most important skill is to actually just enable your course. Like that's what you're doing. And to do that, you not only have to like know what support fundamentals are, but you have to know what your cores are going to do. Like you kind of have to know what they want from you. You have to know exactly where they play on the map, all that kind of stuff. So with Anti-Mage and PA, a lot of this is stuff you're just going to have to come back to, or anybody watching will have to come back to. With Anti-Mage and PA, you have 2 heroes with a blink. They both have some damage steroid. They both have a survivability tool. PA's is evasion, while Anti-Mage is magic resistance. Both of them do very little tower damage early. Both of them, most of the time, buy a Battle Fury. And eventually, they get very powerful with 2 or 3 items. Anti-Mage with Battle Fury Manta, PA with Battle Fury Deso or BKB. And so the difference is that Anti-Mage is obviously very good against Int heroes who he can burn their mana, while PA is usually good against low armor heroes that kind of just die to the burst of
Any-
PA, right?
like a Drow or a CM.
Yeah, these like exactly. So the thing about these matchups is it's like if like anti-mage is survivable against magic damage while PA is survivable against physical damage. Both of them are dealers of physical damage. So if I had to ask you, since anti-mage and PA both do physical, PA is good against physical, and anti-mage is good against magic damage, if you have anti-mage on one team and PA on the other, who wins? Who's favored?
If you both the thing and one has PA's favored.
PA's favorite. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like, it's not
'cause you can't
always
counter
that
against
simple.
magic,
Right? It's not always that simple, but it's like anti-mage's survivability tool is against magic damage while PA is against physical. So what happens is PA doesn't have to itemize to deal with anti-mage because her kit just naturally kills anti-mage. But anti-mage usually has to buy like an MKB or a rapier or something to actually hit the PA. But go ahead.
Hit the PA or be able to hit the same way PA hits him.
Yes.
Like on the same level,
Exactly. And so the beauty of that is there's all types of things that we can talk about as we progress. I don't want to like boggle down the information here.
This seems deep. I can
Yeah,
just see
it can go for a while. I could straight up talk about like one matchup for like half an hour, but I'm not going to do that. I think eventually people are going to tune out, and you'll also like forget what I talked about at the very beginning. But that's like a basic way to assess a carry matchup. If you recall, for you and anybody who missed it or doesn't remember, we at one point talked about what makes a carry. And I said the number one trait of a carry is as the game goes on, they become harder and harder to what?
To kill.
To kill. That's why you don't see heroes like Lion carry or Sniper carry. Like these heroes, 40, 50 minutes into the game, if they just scale by dying more easily, they're not carries. All the heroes that carry eventually become very difficult to kill. So
Coach,
go ahead.
Go on, sorry. I just want to ask a question because there's a question popping in my head when you said that.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Ask your question.
What defines a carry that becomes hard to kill? Is it just because they have extremely high HP, or they become very mobile, or their damage is just so much that you can't?
A perfect example of a hero that doesn't seem like innately a carry, but is kind of turned into one is Ricky. And you may ask what makes him hard to kill. Well, at a later stage of the game, he usually buys an Ags, and his level 25 talent makes it so his Tricks of the Trade is a 6-second cooldown. So he's invulnerable during this. So it goes from the early game being a 12-second cooldown, 2-second duration, to a 3-second duration, 6-second cooldown. And then with his level 15 talent, he's got a smoke screen that goes from 11-second cooldown to 7, which is almost perma uptime. So now you're dealing with this carry who almost half the time is invulnerable, and 80% of the time he can lay a cloud on top of himself. So it's like as the game goes on, it becomes harder and harder to actually initiate onto a Ricky. That's his version of survivability. He's an invis hero with a silence and an AoE, long range initiation with his blink, and he also has invulnerability. Another example of a hero that just becomes harder and harder to kill is Terrorblade. We used him as an example prior.
Oh, yes.
His really high stat gains, if you look at his about section, he has 4.8 agility gain, and he starts the game with 11 armor. When he's level 25, this hero has like 55 armor. And then he's a hero that once he has enough HP that you can't burst him from 100% to 0% health, he just swaps you HP. And it's like he goes from 100 to 25 and then back up to 100. Right?
Yes.
So these are heroes that become harder and harder to kill. And it's interesting because I like an Acceptor like this actually buffs Terrorblade's late game a ton, because the only way to deal with Terrorblade because of Sunder is to burst him full to 0. And this is an ability that creates a wave that pushes everyone away from you. So it's like if they all go on you, bring you down to pretty low health, and you push this, it's like, okay, you can't do that anymore. So now the only counters to Terrorblade, usually late game, are not only ones that burst him, but also ones that don't have to be anywhere near him. Like the Zeuses, the Tinkers, Pugnas, Lion. Yeah, like long range burst damage. So like you can learn not only why Terrorblade is a carry, but you can also learn, okay, if you think about his skills, the heroes that counter him are long range burst damage. So heroes that he can't hit, basically, or can't Sunder, because Sunder's a pretty low range ability. So it's go ahead.
Would you consider Dragon Knight a carry because he's extremely hard to kill, or not because he can't really finish the game?
The thing about Dragon Knight that doesn't like he does scale, but he doesn't like deal enough damage to like actually be like he can't be a 1. He's usually a 2 cuz like he can scale into the late game, he'll be relevant, he's super tanky. His like ultimate itself is pretty strong. But like if he's the only guy dealing damage on your team, you're not going to have enough.
It's not because we can kill eventually. Like we can.
Eventually, even though he's super hard to kill, if he doesn't actually threaten you, then
damage-wise,
then you don't really care. Like the problem is if you have like a DK carry 50 minutes into the game, the likely approach of the opponent team would be to ignore the DK, kill everyone else, and then like 5-man kill the
DK last.
Yeah. So the combination of carries is to be really hard to kill, but not be ignorable. That's a really good point, actually, because heroes like Slark, who rely on like S and shift to feast off of, and the longer the fight goes, the more powerful they get. These heroes can actually scale very poorly, like past like 50, 60 minutes into the game, because at that point, you're actually just getting ignored. Like people don't care that you're super survivable; they're just going to ignore you. But for instance,
and kill
a hero
everyone else and then kill you last.
Exactly, but you can't ignore a PA or a Ricky or a PL or a Terrible. You can't ignore these heroes 60 minutes into the game ever.
Because they'll kill you.
They just do so much damage, you can never ignore them. A hero like Faceless Void can't get ignored because he's going to chrono all 4 of you.
He's going to chrono and kill everyone. So it's someone who's extremely hard to kill and can pretty much kill everyone if you ignore him.
Yes, that's the combination of those two things, yes. The reason why Sven became such a more powerful carry instantly was because in the past, he did a shit ton of damage, but you could literally just stun him and slow him and act like he doesn't exist. But then they gave him his Ags, which made it so you can't do that anymore. So suddenly this hero that's hitting for 800 is no longer... You can't run away from him anymore.
No.
So that made Sven a much better late-game carry than he ever was. So that's an example of... Similar to DK, but instead of being so tanky, you just ignore him. He's like so kiteable, you just leave him to do his thing. Most carries also have some innate gap close. Like, they can get on top of you. Blink Dagger, or Blinks, excuse me. Or, like, for Terrorblade, he's long range. Even Ursa, they gave a gap close. Jug has a gap close. PL has a gap close. Most of these heroes have some way to get on top of you to make it so you can't ignore them anymore.
That's a really good point. I'm glad I got that was cleared up.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors, right? And like I said, I don't want to, like... I don't want to say bore people, but I don't want to talk about this too much just because I'm concerned that, I know how it works. If you talk about something for too long, eventually people either forget what you originally said.
But I could also talk about it back and forth because I can see the layers to this that make it so, like, just the counters to Jug and Jug and Lifestealer is an interesting question for me. Like, who counters them? Since they're similar but slightly different, who counters them?
Yep.
As heroes.
And the interesting thing is that a lot of it is just experience. Like, you can make a conceptual guess, and even at my level, you still make a guess. But like I said, Jug doesn't mind getting initiated onto, Lifestealer really doesn't. So the difference between Jug and Lifestealer usually is that Jug is much happier to hit buildings, because Jug functions better getting initiated onto than Lifestealer does. So even though they both do building damage, usually Jug is better at ending the game than Lifestealer is. So it's kind of interesting where if heroes make it difficult to end the game, it kind of depends on how difficult they make it to end the game. It's like if you're dealing with a Tinker or a Zeus, Lifestealer isn't really that bad because he can kind of just walk up to the high ground with Rage on and hit it and then walk away. But if you're dealing with like a Magnus or something, Lifestealer has a really hard time ever ending the game because he walks up raged and then just gets RP'd and, killed.
RP'd goes through spell immunity.
Yeah, so obviously that's a whole nother thing. There's a lot of spells in the game that go through spell immunity. Not even going to get there. But okay.
Yeah.
So for people who just joined or need a refresher, we're going to be focusing on Phantom Assassin today, but this is a game where Eri is playing Jakiro and he's supporting an anti-mage. And
Look at our enemies, coach. It's like freaking all. I was like, Necro 4. it's not a usual thing. Lone druid. I'm just like, how do you play against lone druid?
So a reminder that I want to give you, and obviously everyone else, is that almost always your carry or your win condition will dictate how your team's optimal strategy will be to play the game.
This is what we did here, Coach. We realized that we can't 5v5 them. So,
Absolutely.
What we understood here is like, we felt uncomfortable for a certain amount of time, half the game, and then when we found a little bit our footing when we realized, oh, we just need to freaking split push. That was, like I said, Coach, that was a horrible. I was tired. Like I just totally whiffed that thing. But we found our footing when we yeah, I blocked the camp.
Keep talking. You're good.
I said it was, but we found our footing when we all of us just pushed the map like as best as we can while AM was just freaking farming. When he scaled better than the entire team, I remember my teammates saying, oh, at this point, yeah, we have better late game because of the way AM just is able to scale. Because at this point, he's just that much stronger.
So I think at the simplest level, rather than learning first and foremost who outscales who, I want you and everyone watching to think, even if Anti-Mage does or does not outscale them, all I care about is that he dictates how you guys play the game. Because even in my bracket, people, what I call grief the game, by trying to play a playstyle that doesn't fit the hero that's supposed to carry them. So what I mean is, if you guys call for like a 5-man smoke and try to run into the opponent when you know they're 5-man, like you know they're together, that's just not Anti-Mage. Like that's
just not.
That's like, never what Anti-Mage is going to do.
I've had an Anti-Mage like that. He's like, "Come on, let's smoke, gang." I'm like, "Anti-Mage, are you serious, man? This is
if you guys 5-man and catch them off guard, you know, where they're like by themselves, that's fine because Anti-Mage can operate in that way." But it's like, if I'm playing a team fighter and my team's trying to play like this split push pickoff game, it's like the exact opposite, right? It's like, I can't do that. So it's important for you and everyone watching to understand that if you have like a split pushing carry, it's almost always about getting the lanes in a good spot and then forcing the opponent to separate and then killing them. It's like, that's what split pushing in, you know, the most basic level is. And it's like,
that's when it feels comfortable to like kind of gank. I'm just like, ooh, all our lanes are pushed. Let's freaking go.
So like if you have an Anti-Mage, when you want him to join you in a fight, it's always going to be him showing up last, or you guys getting good lanes and smoking where you have like the lanes in a good spot. Any other situation, you're probably not getting any help from Anti-Mage. Like that's just Anti-Mage.
Based on playing him optimally.
Yes,
like,
based on Anti-Mage's like optimal way to win the game. And so the funny thing about this way of thinking is that I feel like a lot of players, they think my Anti-Mage scales worse than their guy, so we have to win this game by 40. For me, I'd rather think this is the way this hero wins. I'm going to try to create this situation as soon as I can.
That's a good one.
To execute it. Because a lot of times what I feel like, I myself included, is you put yourself on this like fake timer that just doesn't exist. It's like, I don't care if I end the game by 40. I care that I can find a fight that we're not fighting them 5v5 and kill them. You know?
So playing the game that would enable our carry to play the way that carry is supposed to be played.
Yes. So with every hero that we're going to go through in this series, one at a time,
that's such a good one.
Our goal is that you can slowly but surely adjust your decisions at all stages in the game, just slightly, based on who's carrying you. Because that's like your job as a support. So
can I just share, Coach?
Yeah.
Sometimes I love that you said the whole fake timer, like, because I remember at the beginning they have better late game. We have to end by 40 minutes. Like I remember saying that. Like I remember saying that at certain points of the thing, and it does create this pressure. But if you say this is how we're supposed to play, that is so much more. What's the word? That just gets that. It just feels better. It just feels better.
Well, the thing is that the goal of what I think the best way to play Dota is that you know how you're supposed to play. So what ends up happening is you just do what you're doing Because most people have a pretty good idea of, like, this is how my hero plays by default. So you do what your hero does, like for Jakiro, it's like clear waves or kill buildings or something,
Yeah.
and then look for whatever matters to you. It's like, if I'm an anti-mage, I'm just going to keep split pushing, and all I got to do is look for a moment where they're split up. And that's when I fight. It's like any other moment than that, I'm just split pushing. And I'm going to keep split pushing.
Good one.
So
that is a good one.
A lot of heroes, you have like your default playstyle that you go to, and all you're trying to do is get it done. You're just trying to split push, you're trying to farm, whatever. And then you look for the one thing that changes that. Every hero's a bit different, right? Every hero has like a go button, whether or not that's an item, whether or not that's a situation presented to you, whether or not that's a timing of some sort, you know. But that's the cool part about, like, what I've seen a lot in my coaching sessions recently is I've seen a lot of people that do put that like fake timer on themselves. And I think if you guys understand your carries a bit better, it's easier to not do that.
It's easier to play the way properly. Oh my god. Yep. I pulled that a little bit too early. I went for another one here. I just kept trying to pull. I'm just like, I'm obviously like, I know the pulls could be more efficient. I know what needed to be done here. It's just that I was just like zombie mode, coach. But I did want to play.
So I think the biggest do you see anything wrong other than the fact that you're like kind of missing the pulls?
Wait, let me see. I did not put any vision. I don't think I planted a ward or dewarded. That's one.
Okay.
I do have a salve to wait there. I would say other than pulling my items. Oh, I didn't buy shit.
So that's true. You didn't queue any up. You didn't queue up any items.
I didn't queue anything up. Yeah, I didn't queue anything up, and I'm supposed to provide vision for my carry.
Okay. I think my biggest thing is that there's a lot of supports that, like, you know, I wish I could get them to just pull. But
yeah,
just like how carries need to learn how to fight between farming patterns, supports need to learn how to contribute to the lane between pulls. So what I've seen is you haven't, like, other than that first dual breath that, you know, you missed or whatever, I haven't seen you, like, actually contribute a single spell to the lane. It makes such a big difference if you're pulling most of the time and you just come over and casually dual breath them twice and then, like, go over and clarity yourself.
And then kind of, like, hit.
Yeah, and then leave. Because, like, what you're trying to optimize is the amount of time in lane spent being the least. Like, you're not wanting to spend time in lane, but as a hero like Jakiro, who can kind of just toss out his abilities, it's great. Like, Wyvern's a good one, CM's a good one. Even Shaman's kind of decent, where it's like you go use your spells on him, do some damage, and then you go pull.
And go back to pulling.
And so what I'm missing here is the contribution between the pulls. But go ahead, what were you?
This is what you were saying with Sven. Like, in between here and here, is he really missing any farm? No. So he can help you kind of go on this support, and that's contributing as a carry as well in the lane, correct?
Yes.
In between moments.
So what this does is, like, your pulling has led to anti-mage being level 4 and the opponents both being level 3. And this is always ideal. You'd rather be lower level and have your core be higher level. But what this next part will do is make it so that the trades are better. His CS will be higher. His, like, overall regen situation will be better. You know, these things will also be better on top of this. So that's probably the next step for you on this part of the game, and I know you're being a little sleepy, like you said, but
yeah, I wrote this. Contributing in between pulls wins the lane even harder. Got it.
Yeah, it's like an efficiency thing, right? We talked about as best a use of your time as possible.
Yeah, this is stupid. Yeah. Yep, I died here because I thought that the mid... I didn't look in the map. See, if I looked at the map, I wouldn't go for this. But like I said, my mistake here was not looking at the map and seeing that my mid was missing. Then I wouldn't have gone for that.
This is a combination of, like, 6 things. It's not just that the mid's missing. If that's a mid Viper, you're not going to die here. It's a mid Monkey King. That guy can literally jump, like, 2,000 units from one tree to the next to kill you. So
that's a good point.
That's one thing. If it's like a mid-storm, you're going to die to it. If it's a mid-Queen of Pain, you're going to die to it. Right? So that's one thing to think about, is what mid-hero is you're against, that you're against. But also...
Because I can just TP out if it's a Viper mid-Monkey King.
Also, when you're moving around the map, how far you can quote-unquote move around the map, what do you think is a great indicator?
If I can move around the map?
Yeah.
Oh, if the lane is... in our tower, I would say.
How about if you have boots? Because you move faster. So it's like you're allowed to move more around the map if you can move faster. It's like, what if you did that same move, but had Boots Windlace, picked up the rune, and ran away? Like, maybe you live.
I would have.
So this choice to go for that rune is bad on, like, 5 different levels.
5 different levels.
Yeah, but I'm trying to give you some things to think about there, right? It's like, oh, if I had Boots, maybe that would have worked. If it was a immobile mid-hero, maybe it would have worked. You know, it's just funny, right? You're like a 290 move speed Jakiro trying to yoink a rune. You're trying to like invade enemy lines, and you're like a grandpa, you know, trying to.
It's supposed to. I got this.
Yeah, exactly. So it's funny to think, but these are the things I start to think to myself: is like what items and situations allow me to do certain things.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's so funny. Yeah.
You go back top. Okay. You're going to give your anti-mage some vision, it looks like. If you're going to start planting wards, this is a great habit to get into, you should choose the ward to be placed right here instead of here. Why?
That observer ward?
Yeah, it should be here instead of here. Can you see my cursor?
They're in the trees, right? The trees?
Can you see my cursor or no? Mine.
Oh, I see 2 cursors.
Yeah, the one moving.
The bigger one. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So instead of where you have it right here, where I'm moving it, you should place it right here. Do you know why?
Slightly, because I'll be able to see vision on top here, so that I can see where the supports are moving. Is that why? Or it gets dewarded less?
They both supply about the same amount of vision, so it has nothing to do with what the ward does for you.
Okay.
If you place the ward here, you have to walk out and place the ward. So if they have any ward right here, they are going to see you place it. While if you place the ward right here, you can do it from behind the trees. So the only way they deward you, if the ward's right here, is if they have a ward literally right here, or like right here.
Because they wouldn't know or see me place it.
So a lot about ward placement is the potential that the opponent just sees you do it. Like, literally, they just watch you plop it down and deward you, right?
All right, I got you, coach.
That's something, these are a lot of little things to think about. And my goal with this type of thing is you don't go into the game thinking about this. You go into the game and one time you randomly walk around this corner and you plant this ward and you be like, oh, hope they didn't see me. Or, you know, something.
Yeah.
These are the things that maybe you'll catch randomly in your games. You can't exactly focus on improving these. You know, you kind of just...
But if I went through the trees and like kind of ninja planted it, then that would have been the great one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got you. I got
little things to think about that aren't exactly something I'm telling you to work on, but more so make sure it's comes to your attention that you can.
They let me chain pull. That's the first time I connected that chain pull.
The funny thing is about this stage in the game is that I am utterly confident that you can sit back babysitting this guy and play your lane properly. And what I'm seeing is that the same situation is pretty much happening where you haven't left your safe lane again.
This is not... Man, I wish I was able to show you the lobby games, because that's where I...
No, so this is what... I'm just going to make sure what I have people...
100%.
What I'm telling people is, I know for a fact that what you're doing here is correct for the first 6 to 7 minutes of the game. And also, it's quite possibly correct at this stage in the game. But we've been consistently harping to Eri on is that there's other lanes to go to at this point. Your anti-mage is level 7. Their offlane Lesh is level 5.5. So I'm not telling you just said you did your job, ditch him time. But you definitely have wiggle room to go somewhere else.
Yes.
And then maybe come back. That's kind of what we said. It's like maybe you walk away, maybe you TP away. If you walk away, you're more likely to come back. If you TP away, you're kind of like, I'm out of here.
So wait, I think I do that this game.
So my question for you is, let's talk about Anti-Mage and PA. Do these heroes want you to play with them past like 7 minutes?
Nope.
Why?
Because they need to farm, 1. And two, if you go play with them, other people will go to you, and fights will happen at a point where they don't want fights.
And they don't want fights, exactly. So that's
Yeah.
a great point. We did talk about that. So it's
Yes.
like certain carries, they want your defense to help them because they're not as survivable, something like a drow. Or other
Yeah.
carries, like maybe Ricky, are happy to be supported because they don't mind fighting at
And
8 minutes
because
into the
that's what they
game.
need to do. If this were a drow, then I would probably stay in the lane more. I'm like, hey, let's get you a bit more kills.
You'd be more likely to stay.
Yeah, more likely.
But
yeah.
none of this is black and white. It's never like always leave the anti-mage, always stay with the drow. It's never like that. It's like these heroes have conditions for when you need to stay with them. So it's like for anti-mage, the thing is, it's like getting down to the nitty-gritty, I'm not going to worry about that right now, like exactly why or why not you leave the anti-mage.
Yes.
But just in
Sure.
general, you'll likely want to leave an anti-mage. But so now my question is, what type of heroes like to gank with anti-mage? Like, if you're going to help the anti-mage, what does he lack? Like, what does he not contribute to the gank?
Stun.
Okay. So, with anti-mage, he usually has the mana burn plus the void. So he contributes what? What does he contribute?
He contributes getting the burning their mana down, so that they can't use spells.
Okay.
And damage.
So yes, he is all about the like mana burn into damage, right? Now,
and that
if you're
burst, that
ganking
burst
for a
control.
PA, what does she lack and what does she offer?
PA lacks magic immunity, or wait.
No, we're talking about you're ganking for the PA.
Oh, ganking.
You're helping her do something. What does she lack when she's ganking, or what does she do?
I would say a stun as well, because
Do you think PA needs a stun to kill people?
no, not really, honestly.
Why?
Oh wait. Does PA need a stun to kill people? I would say yes. Yeah, I would say yes.
She has a high duration slow on a 6-second cooldown. She doesn't need a stun.
Oh,
Her dagger slows.
oh, you're right.
So, on the other hand, PA offers very little damage super early game. Like, we're talking like 7-8 minutes in, she does very little damage.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So,
Actually, I have in my perception, like, PA is just a damage dealer.
no, very early game
game.
until she gets like 2 or 3 items, she does not do anything. Like, she does
Let me
lack
write that down.
damage.
Oh,
So the
I didn't know
difference
that.
is, if
I
you're
didn't know
here,
that.
like if I'm a PA and you come to my lane with a bunch of stuns and no damage, I'm kind of like, okay. And then if you come to my lane as an anti-mage and you have no stuns, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like,
Yeah.
why are we ganking with no stuns? Or it's like with PA, why are we ganking with no damage? You know?
So until PA gets Deso, I guess that's when
it's
she
usually at
probably
least a
will-
Battle Fury. If she's like super far ahead in lane, like, you know, she's level 8 and they're level 5 or something, yeah, she can do some damage. But
Yeah.
like for the most part, if the lane's remotely even, that's kind of what we're going off the basis of. It's like pretty close. PA doesn't do damage and anti-mage doesn't have stuns. So these are heroes where you can think, if I leave and I want to help the anti-mage come, if I'm going to come back, what type of heroes does anti-mage want me to be?
Stunning.
He wants a stunning hero. So for you, it's like you ask yourself, as a Jakiro, as a shaman, as a CM, can I be a setup stun for this guy? And if the answer is yes, then you come back to his lane and gank with him, right? If the answer is no, then you don't. And the cool thing about that is that's how you begin to learn matchups. It's like CM is a nice setup stun against certain offlaners, but like
Yes.
other offlaners, not so much. You know, other offlaners who can kind of just run away from her or get away from her before she gets her W off or whatever, then she's not very good. But offlaners like Lesh, if you were to come behind them with the W from CM, that guy's gonna die. Like
He's gonna die. Yeah.
you're gonna get him with a W and he's gonna die. So that's the cool part about thinking about this stage of the game. Is like, if I leave this guy, what would he want from me if I were to come back? And you can start to ask yourself that. So the first step, though, like we talked about, you said in this game you're sleepy and you did it the rest of your games,
Yeah.
is to leave. That is the first step. Seems so simple, but
Yes.
so you do end up leaving. This is better than before. You were leaving at like 11 or 12 minutes before.
Yes.
You end up
Yes,
TPing mid and salving him up. Lena gets the tower. You're
Yes,
then
I
going to
salved
walk
Lena.
bottom. Okay.
because Lena was there doing her thing, and I'm just like, and this is where I'm just like, man, there's a bear here. I'm like, I'm not used to bears in this lane.
So I'll ask you a very simple question. Are you strong?
Against these guys?
Is your hero at 9 minutes strong?
No, not at all. Not at all.
This is a very simple Dota concept, my friend.
I'm
So
weak as-
if you
I'm
are
weak as
not
fuck
strong,
right now.
who do you play around if you're going to play around people?
The strong one.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let's just look at the course. In lane matchups.
Yeah.
Level 9 to level
Yeah.
7 on the opponent team. The Monkey King's level 7.
I play with Lena.
Level 7 to level 5. Level 7 to level 8.
Oh, because I'm just like, hey guys, let's help. Like, I'm just like, and everyone else is like a little bit.
This is what blows my mind about support players. They even do it at my bracket, Eri.
Wow.
They do it at my fucking bracket, Eri. Okay?
Support.
So if you're a support and you are weak, you play around the people that are strong. But the cool thing is, what you'll eventually learn is, say you're like a ganking support like Shaman. What if your offlaner's kind of weak, but all he needs is a stun? You're like, damn, I can help that guy. I'm a Shaman. You know, I got a lot of those. But it's like,
Yeah, but depends. It's a very situational.
yes. So the
But here
first thing is, it's like not only
easier.
understanding that your core is weak, but it's like sometimes you can make him strong. You know? But this, at the most basic level, one of the easiest ways to determine where you gank, you see this, 7 to 8, you see this, 9 to 7, and you see this, 7 to 5. Whatever lanes have a level advantage, you're very likely to help. Because that hero alone will be strong, right? Like, that hero will make you strong because you are with them.
Coach, question.
Go ahead.
But I was supposed to leave this lane, right? So maybe staying with the Lena was the ideal situation?
So if I told you you're supposed to leave this lane,
Yeah.
but you're willing to play around Anti-Mage, are you not?
Yes, I am.
Meaning,
for
like,
sure.
if he wants help, you could give it to him, right?
Oh, I understand.
What am I getting at here?
I shouldn't have TP'd out.
What should you do, and where should you go?
Yes.
No, I'm asking you right now. What should you have done, and where should you have gone?
I should have gone mid.
And by walking mid. How crazy is that?
Yeah, I should have walked.
That's
I should have walked mid with Lena, and if there was in a situation where they kind of maybe just gone on AM, I could have.
This is a
TP'd and helped
situation where I'm anti-mage thinking, dude, these two heroes are level 5. What the fuck is happening right now? Like, why am I getting ran at by 2 level 5 heroes with no help? And then I look at this, you know? So the thing about anti-mage is he wants to be left alone. But if he's got a 2 level advantage, he doesn't want to get bullied. Like, he doesn't want this. So the goal is that you leave him with the premise of when you would come back. So a lot of these heroes like PA and Anti-Mage, you're going to learn, if you give them an advantage, usually you'll want to come back at some point if the opponent does shit like this. Right? Like, but the goal is, like I said, to get you to leave first. If you if you had walked mid and then decided not to go back bottom, I'd be like, or back top, excuse me, then we can talk about it. That's going to be like a different game. And the cool thing is, this game you did leave. It was a bit late, and you TP'd instead of walking. So the decision that we got to talk about here was whether or not you TP or walk.
Yes.
And this is a perfect example where if you TP away and you are aware that you could help the anti-mage, what should your action be after you TP? Because there's going to be games where some crazy shit happens and you have to TP mid, right?
Yes.
Like, that's-
and the reason I TP'd mid is I saw my Lena was low and she needed a sal.
So I'm telling you that ideally you would have walked mid, right?
There, yes.
But I'm not telling you to never TP mid here. So you TP'd mid, but you have an anti-mage you need to be ready to play around. What's your following action after you TP mid?
Definitely not walking bottom.
Where would you go?
Maybe
Walking
walk back
towards top.
Yes.
If you're going to play the map, you would play anywhere around here. Because that's between the two heroes that are strong. So
and I'm also somewhat securing rune, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, the funniest thing about playing near a hero that's strong is they make you strong because, they'll dish out the damage, they'll stun, whatever. But also, if you're just near them and you put yourself in the river or something, and the opponent, like, if you saw an opponent mid was winning by 2 levels as a support, you'd kind of want to kill them, wouldn't you?
Yes.
And what if you just smoke and run into a level 4 Jakiro?
What if you smoked and
what if they smoked, try to kill your mid lane Lina and run into you?
Nothing much, honestly.
I'm saying, is that a good thing if you were to die to a 3-man smoke gank as a level 4 Jakiro?
Because I save my carries. I'm just
that's like pro Dota. That's pro support. Oh, we got him. He's here. We got him.
Because I tanked the gank.
Yeah, that's called tanking the gank.
Say hello. Hello. Oh, you're gonna tank the gank when you're older? Hi. He just wanted to say hi. Thank you, honey. Thank you. All right. He misses dad. Dad's been busy, so he's just kind of like
understandable,
wanting to see dad. Yeah. All right. Now he's just gonna mess it. There, he's gonna gank the entire room now. Okay, that's just what he does. So so basically tanking the smoke gank would have been that's the best way. At least it was me. It was not my carry, and they can still.
I'm just saying, there's so many ways to enable a strong hero that you don't necessarily have to feel like you're doing something. I just want you to be on a part of the map that makes it so you have the chance to do something. Like, honestly, you playing bottom here, you have no chance of doing anything impactful. Like, there's actually just nothing you can do here. Like, I can't give you even specific instructions on how you could contribute to this lane. So Coach, what I'm going to... Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. Please go. Please finish your point.
What I was going to say is that what I want to teach you about these core heroes is their situations that make them successful. And so the goal of Dota is to be, as a support especially, is to put yourself in these situations as often as possible, because when the opportunity presents itself, you will be there.
True.
Right? So what were you going to ask?
I was going to ask, Coach, if the matchup were different, because obviously what I also have what you've taught me over the months was push the safe lane, get the bottom tower as, the optimal way to move the map. This is the case because I am weak 1 and we don't match up against these heroes very well. But if I were strong and I can contribute based on the matchup, would bottom still be good, or should I also be thinking about being able to go back to my AM?
So
that's just my...
I think what I want to do now is I'm not going to teach you how to run yet. I'm going to teach you how to walk. So the first step is that I want you at the stage in the game to assess whether or not you're weak or strong.
Okay.
And based on that alone, if you're weak, you have to play with strong heroes. If you're strong, you can look to enable weaker heroes. And I want you to choose which heroes are strong and weak on your team purely based on what level they are. You compare your offlaner to their carry. You compare your carry to their offlaner. You compare the 2 mids.
Wait, let me write this down. Wait, compare
the lane matchups. Just compare them. Like the 3 heroes that are all matched up against each other.
Compare the levels, and decide which ones are strong, which ones are weak, and who to play around. Okay, I like this.
By the way, in a game like this, you can always ask your Lina, who's level 9. You should have an idea, generally speaking, if your mid laner can jungle. You should have, like, if it's a Storm or a Lina, they can jungle. If it's like a Death Prophet, they can't really jungle. The point is, though, have a general sense of whether or not you think your mid laner can jungle. Because at 7-8 minutes in, if you're a support and nothing on the map looks obvious to you, you should ask your mid, hey, do you mind jungling?
So I can get some mid experience.
Yeah, you should, because this gives you something to do. I guarantee you no Lina is ever going to be upset that she has to hit jungle creeps.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Like, she shreds those things. So it's like, if you just say, hey, Lina, do you mind hitting jungle creeps? Maybe the guy's going to be toxic. Maybe he's going to not know his hero could hit them or something. But in general, a lot of mid laners, if they know they can hit jungle, are happy to give you the lane. So that's something to consider, is like, sometimes if you have a strong core, them jungling and you taking their lane, that's an example where, like, you're technically playing around them because the lane is more dangerous than the jungle. So if you take the lane and they take the jungle, you are likely gank tanking for them, right? So something to think about there. That's another option. But my goal from this, first and foremost, is that you're going to ask yourself, am I weak or strong? You're going to look at your cores and say, okay, if I'm weak, play around the strong guy. If I'm strong, help the weak guy. And we're going to look at exceptions, and we're going to be able to talk about this kind of stuff, but I want you to consciously tell me
Do that.
why
Throughout this month, you want me to hone this.
Yes.
I want you to decide who's weak or strong and who you're going to enable and who you're going to not. And
Exactly. And
Then
like
we
I've
can
kind of
have
told everyone else, and for you to find out, there's going to be a nice little twist that I hope can help you understand that. So that's what we're going to see here. So
all right.
let's go ahead and get through this first replay to make sure we don't, run out of time for the second one. So now that we're bottom, we're kind of like, okay, this is a little awkward. I gave my spell. My offlaner's already dead.
These guys are strong. What's going on? Oh yeah, Mag was already dead. They jump on AM. AM gets out. This honestly, the first 15-20 minutes of this, I would say the first 15 or 20 was very awkward. We're just like, I don't know how to do. I don't know what to do here. It was just, or when I say I don't know what to do, I don't know what we need to do to win here. Because it felt like they had better. So I just freaking double stack here and try to do something. And this is still my whole push the lanes. I'm obviously not thinking about what you're
you're defaulting to our game plan of like go bottom and take the tower.
Lanes, go bottom. Yeah, look at me. I'm pushing that lane.
So now what I'm telling you is I want you to consciously decide whether or not, like, which heroes are strong in about 7-8 minutes into the game and go towards those people. So like what I'm basically telling you is if you put yourself in a lane with a core that can't be helped because you're weak and he's weak, there's literally anything else on the map would be better. Like, you can just go anywhere. Like, I don't know if you could have helped Alina get a kill. I don't know if you could have helped the anti-mage get a kill. I don't know if you could maybe take a tower with the anti-mage. Yeah. There's so many potential things.
It would have definitely felt better than that bottom lane.
Anything that has to do with those two heroes would be better than what's going on bottom. So for you, when you have this experience, you're going to learn from your own experiences. Yeah. You're going to play these situations out. I just need you to get yourself in that situation first, such that you then can learn from it.
I got you. Yeah,
does that
it
make
didn't
sense?
feel good. I didn't feel that we were creating pressure for them. I'm just like, it didn't feel like that at all.
They just bring more heroes, and it's like the equivalent of you coming to your anti-mage when he's under-leveled and bringing the fight to him. That's what you're doing here.
I'm bringing the stats to them here. Here's your kill. Here's another kill. This is me realizing, okay, this feels a little bit. This does not feel good. Like.
So I'm gonna ask you a quick question. This is a thinker, and I don't want you to or anybody watching to confuse themselves by it, but it's an interesting thought.
Okay.
So in general, supports are not strong, just like in general, right? But supports always have a strength. They do something. So for Jakiro, if you are quote-unquote strong, what do you contribute?
Lane pushing.
Lane pushing? What else?
Yes. Taking towers.
Okay. What else?
And a shit ton of magic damage team fight.
Okay. And what's the opposite of lane pushing?
What is the opposite
of another portion of lane pushing? If you also take towers, what also do you do?
If we also take towers, we defend towers?
You defend towers. Yes. So if your hero's strengths are those things, taking towers, AoE magic clear, defending towers, damage, then what you can think is, how do my strengths complement my heroes? So an example of this, this is just a matchup, is that Lone Druid is a push hero. So if you were to help bottom, since Lone Druid is strong, because he's out leveling, you're assuming he's strong because he's higher level than your teammate, right?
That's strong.
That's how we came to this conclusion. I'm not coming to some magic understanding of matchups. You literally look at the levels and you go, okay, based on these levels, Lone Druid is strong, Anti-Mage is strong, and Lina is strong because those three won their lanes, right?
Yes.
So if you're going to counter a Lone Druid with your hero, how would you contribute against a hero that pushes? That's what Lone Druid does. If you're going to help your team against Lone Druid and he pushes, what would you do?
And if I was gonna help my team and Lone Druid pushes, what would I do?
Yeah. So if you go to Lone Druid's lane, what would be the only reason you would ever go there?
To probably defend the creeps, maybe?
Defend the tower! Dude, it's so
Defend the
simple.
tower,
man.
yeah.
I know it's complicated, but it's actually so simple, right? The only reason if I were a support that I would ever go to Lone Druid's lane when he's really strong is to defend my tower.
That's it.
That's it?
Basically,
because that's what the hero does with the lead. Every hero is different.
Fire and leave.
Yeah, I would like macro pyre the wave. I'd sit behind it, dual breathing it as much as possible. I'd defend my tower. If you're against a hero that kills, like that's how it makes him strong. Like if you're you are the opponent and the enemy mid is Lina, she's like a kill hero,
Yeah.
I would look to defend my teammate who's there. But like, does Jakiro help defend his teammate at all?
I wouldn't say so.
No, so like that's probably not a lane that you can help. Do you see where I'm going with this line of thought? Okay, so
yes,
that is something to implant a seed in your mind, and maybe for like the 4 or 5K viewers, like the 4 or 5K MMR viewers, maybe they could actually apply that one. Yes. But that's a seed to plant. But my first step now, reminder.
Yeah.
I want you to look at all 3 lanes, which 3 heroes in the game are strong. If both lanes are, if one lane is like completely even, where like they're both level 6 or both level 7, then I would say they're both strong.
Yeah.
Meaning that you could potentially help them. Like either side could potentially help them. So, and then make a choice on which one you go to. Just make a choice. And usually you'll have one that you go to and one that you're willing to go to. So like in this case, you go to the Lina and you're willing to go to the Anti-Mage.
One that I go, because they're the strong ones.
They're the 2 strong ones, right?
One that I go to. You know what? This kind of fills in a lot of that dead time.
Oh, it's so easy. If you were anywhere in the vicinity of Lina for the last 5 minutes, this game would be so simple. Whether or not that's taking over her lane, whether or not that's literally trying to tank a gank for her, whether or not that's helping her get that kill on Monkey King, your game would have just been so straightforward.
Because you've given me the initial what I need to do optimally for a map, right? Get the dead lane things and everything. Now we have this layer of just okay, sometimes there is also situations where you can also contribute to these objectives in a different way, or there's an extra layer of doing this properly.
There's individual decisions in the game that you'll have to make almost every single game. This one is around 7 to 8 minutes usually. It's just who's strong and what lane do I play around. That's the decision you have to make. It's a decision you have to refine even at my level, because it gets more and more complicated the more and more you can refine the decision. And for you, I want you to think what hero is the higher level and who do I play around, right? So
at 7 to 8 minutes.
At 7 to 8 minutes, because that's about when you've done your job in lane. Every time I've looked at your games, the last 10 games, your carry's a level or 2 ahead of their guy. So even though we talked about some things you could have done better in lane, your lane supporting is above your MMR, because every game I've seen, your carry is out leveling their off lane. So that means you're doing your job every single game.
My carriers are happy with me. I play with Ancients sometimes and Immortals, and they're like, hey, I'm really happy with the way you lane there.
Yeah, it's quite simple, right? If I watch a coaching session and the guy shows me 3 games, in all 3 games, he wins his lane by it just looks like he's better at laning than his opponent, I can automatically assume he's not 3K, 4K MMR because his laning. I have to assume his laning is probably above that level, and some other facet of his game is below that level. I firmly believe you could be a good enough support at 3 or 4K for the first 7 minutes of the game.
Okay.
For the first 7 minutes of the game, I easily could put you at 3 or 4K and more. So what we're trying to do is actually raise the other decisions
The
to be
rest of
it needs
the
to be
game.
like way better, right? Like, so we're gonna start with the
yes.
basics. We're gonna plant the seeds just like we did in the laning stage, and that's what we're
We are
doing
progressing. All right,
So,
I got you. I got it.
This is the first decision I really need you to focus on, and even since we've spent so much time discussing this, I think I'm just gonna be done with this specific replay
Yes,
here
that's fine.
because we're
That's
about
fine.
halfway through. So, with that in mind, because we're at the halfway point or so, I do want to take
Yes.
the time. We do thank
Oh,
our
yes.
sponsors, right? I'll
Yes,
segue
yes.
this for you. Go ahead.
Sure. Before we come in, guys, once again, this series brought to you by Gamecaster. If you plan to stream, this is absolutely free, so you can check them out. Thank you, Gamecaster, for supporting this. We have 4 episodes of 2 hours every week, thanks to them. So we're gonna be having We're gonna be having this for the entire month. So and with line with that, I would just want to give you a bit of an idea of what Gamecaster is about. We'll play a quick video, and we're gonna get to our next session after this.
Absolutely. So I'll do that real quick. So,
Clicking that, there you go.
and right there. So let's get it on.
There you go. Thanks for watching, guys.
Nice.
3, 2, 1, go!
So I'll also say, you know, I'm not going to further the sellout too much, but I'll just say that I've been I've been enjoying using Gamecaster. I'm using it right now.
Has it been easy?
And the transition's been pretty straightforward. I think the cool thing about it for me is that like I have all my alerts and everything set up on Streamlabs, and I just literally used a
You just kinda
widget
just
from
drag it in,
Streamlabs and
it's
just
all there,
put it
right?
on here. So
yeah, it's pretty simple. Yeah,
it's very
I pretty
cool,
use
so-
it, and that's the idea. It's like super easy for like people who like if you know nothing about setting it up, they make it as easy as possible.
yeah,
So,
that's the cool part about me is that a lot of it's very straightforward, but also if you're like an established streamer, if you've been doing it for a long time, it also
it's super cool.
the
super easy.
transition was very simple for me. It took me maybe 10 minutes to set this up. So
Yeah.
very, very cool there. And I just want to thank them again. I'll shoot the link in
First.
chat for anyone who wants to.
Yes, if you want to
If you're
download it,
interested
if
to
you want
know,
to try it out,
completely
like,
free,
give it a
guys.
try.
Oh, I gave the I gave the match ID.
You gave the
I had that
guys,
copy.
Please don't play my match. I'd have like Eri.
I had the match ID copy pasted.
I'm gonna get PMs. I can literally see what
Yeah,
you've done
guys,
wrong, and
please don't flame Eri. It's okay.
I'm gonna get inputs. But you know what's so nice? I mean, coming from the coaching series, I've had people like come in and like give me advice as well. They're like, okay, this is what you could do as well. It's a very nice thing to have. I get these private PMs saying, oh, you could have done something here as well, and it's very very PMA. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. I love the people that are calling us sellouts, and like some people are just like, "It's free, you dumbasses." But no,
Yeah,
we just want to thank Gamecaster. It has been them teaching me real quick how to do it. They're very nice guys and very
Yes.
easy to work with. So
And we're very grateful that we're getting support for the series. So
We-
guys,
we do
I mean, if you want to
appreciate,
keep the series going,
support.
sponsors like these make that possible. So
yeah,
again,
show them
thank
love
you.
if you love us. If you don't like
Yeah.
us, then maybe still show them some appreciation.
But yeah, again, thanks Gamecaster. So we're gonna jump to the next one, Coach.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the PA replay now. So
Oh
this
my
has been the focus of the game or of today's session.
Yeah.
Originally was to say we are all inning on PA. So we talked about
Coach.
anti-mage here.
You're
But
gonna see this sick juke, Coach.
we are gonna talk. Okay, I'll make. Oh wait, is this? Did I choose? Oh, I chose the wrong one. We're good.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
going
the
to.
the unranked one.
Yes, I am going to tie every decision you make in this game to PA in some
Oh,
way.
this is good.
Okay? We're
This
going
is
to do
good.
that in
Okay.
some way. Wait, just give me an idea. No spoilers, but teaser. What point approximately is this juke?
Oh, early.
Okay, it's
game.
early. Okay.
It's laning phase. It's
Okay,
laning phase.
gotcha. Okay, we'll see.
It's
I'm just
first
making
blood.
sure. I'm like,
It's
if this is like a 43-minute into the game juke.
No.
Yeah.
This is a laning phase juke where they thought they got the first blood, but we ended up getting the first blood.
Gotcha.
It was literally like 50 HP, one last hit, but I'm like, nope, and then got the juke, and they didn't get the kill. So I went up for here. I didn't know how to think, so I just went Ring of Regen, I think, here.
We are going to
eh.
compare PA to Anti-Mage as a way for you to have like a basis to establish. Like the Anti-Mage idea is just giving you something to start with. So
Yeah.
out of all of the functions of the lane, I want you to name as many as you can where they may differ. So you can just run through them in your head right now out loud. Like you can say like, okay, when it comes to this, let's think, or whatever. I want to hear from you as many as you can think of.
Functions, my function in the lane for PA.
Yeah, I'm talking about general mechanics of the lane that we've talked about are important to you, how they may apply differently to Anti-Mage and PA.
Okay.
I'll
This is
name
for
them
the
if you
laning.
want me to, but I'll first give you the chance.
Okay, wait. What you're asking me, Coach, is in the laning phase, how does PA differ between AM and between AM? Correct.
And I want it to stem from all of the fundamentals that I have talked to you about that occur every single game in the laning phase.
Okay. PA has the ability to get a range.
That was my first one, man. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I get it.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Okay.
oh, is that good?
That is so good. So let's talk about this
Yeah.
first and foremost, okay? So this is so funny to me. But if you are a person at home and you have a a Jakiro support, which one will go better with it? PA or Anti-Mage on average?
PA.
Why?
Because PA has the ability to get the range. Correct?
And Jakiro cannot.
Cannot, because he doesn't have like a nuke.
Okay.
It's like a...
So on the other hand, if you have a CM, does that weakness of Anti-Mage manifest itself?
Absolutely, because I can nuke the range.
Well,
and
I'm
get
saying
more
you fix
XP.
it though. I'm saying
I fix it.
Anti-Mage does not mind getting supported by a CM because she can nuke the range for him.
Yes.
You
So
you,
need
you
to
had the
make
right
sure.
answer. I just asked it a little weird. This is such a simple way, but it's like, dude, if you go into a lane with no way to secure a range, and you're against a hero with a stun, every time the carry walks up for the range, they're just gonna get stunned. And
Yes.
it's like so simple, but you may just lose a lane because you have no way to get a range creep. So that's like 10 guaranteed denies for the opponent. It's like that alone tells you a lot about matchups. So it's like the nice thing about PA is I already know I have a way to get range creeps. I'm not necessarily concerned about my support's ability to do that. So that's first step with PA.
Nice.
So name a couple other fundamentals of the lane if you can think of them.
Okay, so in terms of moving around,
We'll talk about pulling. So when you pull, how does Anti-Mage differ from PA?
okay, so when I pull, obviously everyone they will go to my hero. I would guess that, who has more armor, Coach?
PA.
say PA has more armor.
PA has 4, I believe Anti-Mage has 2 or 3.
Okay. I would say if I pull, naturally what happens is 2 heroes will go to her, and
Okay.
she will have a chance to lose XP. I would lose. Well, she will get attacked on.
Okay.
But so in pulling, oh wait, this is the juke, Coach. This is the juke. Wait,
I'm
look,
watching.
I decided to commit and man up on this thing. Oh, but he freaking things. But wait, we got the salve, and wait, look at the juke. Oh, Nix, what you do? Oh, and I get the regen. Doesn't kill me.
Dude, that Ring of
I
Regen
was-
is literally giving you the health you need to live here.
It was the ring of regen. Yeah. Oh, that felt. I was so tired. But this perked me up the entire game. Like this play, I was just like, let's go. I was just like, literally, you're like, let's go. Like, oh my God. Because they didn't get the first blood. I didn't die. And yeah, and then I go ahead and pull. I was so freaking hyped. I was so tired, but I was so hyped.
Do you want me to rain on your parade, or do you just want me to let you have this one? I'm fine to let you have this one.
Just give me 30 more seconds. Oh,
Okay.
It felt so good. Did you see that he didn't get it right? Like he didn't. Moving forward, yeah, I'm good.
You're down to let me rain on your parade?
You can rain on my parade.
Okay.
Yes.
So the juke itself, we're not gonna ever insult that one. That was fantastic. My question for you is: when we engage the opponent, why do we do it?
Because they're taking our farm, or they're just
Okay.
But what's the word? Yeah.
Is this Necro with no HP gonna do anything to your PA's farm?
No.
This whole engagement should just never occur.
Never have happened. Yeah, I know. I understand.
You doing the
I
damage to him and making him run away, that was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
What should you have done? Like, I'm gonna go to like
Left.
1 minute here. You did this. This is fantastic. Now
That
what?
was great. I should have left.
And done what? It's 1 minute in. Now what should
and
you have
pulled.
done? And pulled. Boom.
And
Like,
I should have pulled it. Yeah.
but it was a beautiful juke. You know, I'll give
I
you.
was trying. I was just trying to. I was like, oh, let's get this kill, because I'm like, oh, I got you. I can kill.
This
I have
is
a
an
mango.
example where you're kind of just getting baited by the kill. The fact that you brought this guy down to like no health
Yeah.
is like you've done exactly what you're supposed to do. That we talked about how like you're supposed to contribute to the lane and then go pull, right?
Yeah.
That was a perfect example of you contributing to the lane in a meaningful way. And now you got to give your PA the time to like get that experience advantage.
Yes.
But
I'm sorry.
in exchange, we got a sick juke. So
we got a
there's
juke
consolations
and,
of everything here.
We got a clip out of it.
Yes, there you go.
That goes to the highlight reel.
Give and take. Give and take.
Give and take. But yeah, I did pull after.
Better late than never.
Better late than never for sure. PA's here. Coach, in regards to your question, I would say that PA can survive more if I pull compared to AM, because she has higher armor, so maybe...
She has more innate sustain than Anti-Mage, because she has evasion as well as a little bit higher armor. But my question is, not only are they going to take damage, but both of them may be under kill threat. So how does Anti-Mage differ from PA? In regards to them killing her.
We can punish people going to us more, I would say. Like,
I think both of them can do that.
Okay.
Both of them can blink on the opponent, right?
Yes, that's
But if
true.
they go on your PA or they go on your Anti-Mage, how do these two heroes differ? If my Anti-Mage is getting gone on as I'm pulling, what is my response?
If my anti-mage is pulling...
Like, they're trying to kill him. What's your response if Anti-Mage is getting gone on?
I would probably go and help out and just try to relieve the pressure.
I would probably do absolutely nothing because he's just going to blink away and walk away.
Oh, right.
Now, what about PA? How do I help her?
He needs to blink to me.
You need to walk over to her and blink so she can blink
Blink
to you.
to me. Blink to me. Yeah, you're right. Nothing, because...
I
yeah,
can't
anti-mage-
stand when I am playing PA,
right.
they are going on me, and my support's idea of helping me is walking towards the opponent.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
need
can
an
you
escape.
just walk over here so I can blink to you? Like, please?
Yes.
So this
Yes.
is an example where if you critically think about every situation that occurs in the lane, because it's always going to happen, when you pull, they're going to potentially go on your carry. If you kind of premeditate like what you would do if they go on your carry, this is the kind of stuff that you can train yourself to think in every single matchup, right? Like, you can think, if I have a PA, if she's getting gone on, I should instinctually run to a place that she can blink to.
Yes, which is me.
Which
Yes.
I would say, yeah,
Yes.
like run to a place where she can blink to me, right?
Yes.
And
That
it's
is-
so simple, but yet it's so impactful. If I'm getting gone on as a PA and my support just runs to a spot that's good to me to blink to, like it's so nice. It makes so much of a difference. So this is a small thing, but it does add up. So your PA ends up getting gone on.
Yes.
What did he just didn't blink, didn't stick? Okay, that's a little sus, but it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like he could have probably lived there.
He could probably...
Okay, lane's pushing out. What did I want you to do there, Eri? What did I want you to do? The lane, look at it. What do I want?
You wanted me to pull
Pull what?
the large camp.
Oh, okay. So we still know fundamentals. We're just not doing them. That's
I
fine.
know. I'm just not doing. This is like I'm zombie. Running on pure adrenaline. But yes, I should have pulled the large camp because it was already up there.
Yep.
We can still get kills, but still, it's not important. Yes, I'm deciding to pull. I'm just running on pure adrenaline here. But yes, I understand what needed to be done.
The cool thing about it is people see the kills and they go, hey, like just to make sure people who aren't always here, they say, hey, BSA, they got a kill. Like, did you still want him to pull the large camp? The same thing will always happen. They'll just be closer to your buildings if you do that, right? It's the same shit that's gonna happen. The cool thing about pulling is it forces the opponent to have to be near you. So if you kill them when they don't have to be near you, I guarantee you will kill them if they are forced to be near you. That's the idea of these like miniature objectives.
The reason we can kill them is because of the matchups, correct?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, in general, like PA can Necro has pretty low armor and PA can bring him down. I don't necessarily think Necro should die, but in your bracket, it's hard to exactly predict. Just because people will misplay a bit or whatever. So, like, PA shouldn't have died there because she had a Fairy Fire and 7 sticks, but, she did. So,
happens.
Just happens.
Well, this PA ended up carrying the game, though.
So so you end up, like, she's still higher level, so your pulls are paying off. You're going to salve. You salve. Nice, you salve them. Beautiful.
Yes, yes.
Oh, you got a salve canceled by Mana
The
Burn.
salve is automatic.
So, my question, Eri. Is right now, with the lane looking like it is right here,
yes.
if you needed to be in lane, why would you?
If they are going on her.
So let's compare PA to Anti-Mage. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being very diveable, and 1 being not very diveable, where do Anti-Mage and PA fall on that scale?
I would say Anti-Mage is like a 2, not diveable.
Okay.
Probably even a 1. And PA is probably like she has no damage early game. She cannot escape. I would say PA is like a 7 or an 8.
Nah, she's like a 3 or a 4. So slightly higher, but
slightly more. Okay.
Because she can't blink to where she wants, but it's the same idea that she's a melee hero, so the creeps don't do like a ton of damage to her. She has a mobility spell. She can like dagger them so they can't chase her as fast. But my question would be, if they're going to dive them, there's 2 ways that the opponents can threaten a dive. One of them is by straight up killing your teammate, okay? The other is by simply just pushing the creeps into your tower.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is like the best D-pusher in the entire world, and 1 is not very good at D-pushing, where do Anti-Mage and PA fall?
D-pushing, counter-pushing. Like
Counter-pushing, protecting the tower, yes.
Oh. Well, that's a good question. I don't... Because they just...
If they need to defend their tower, how good are they at it, basically?
Not very good. Because it's just single target, correct?
Yeah, so 10's amazing, 1's shitty. Where would you put Anti-Mage?
Anti-Mage, 1/1 just hits. Oh, I would say maybe Anti-Mage... Without Battle Fury laning phase, right?
Yeah, we're talking laning phase. We're only talking laning phase right here.
Maybe like a 3.
I'd give him like a 1 or a 2.
Okay.
I'd say he's about as bad as it gets because he's a single target melee hero, and he has absolutely no way to draw aggro. So I'm saying if there's 5 creeps hitting the tower, the only way he can get them away from the tower is by literally walking up to them and hitting them.
But PA is a little bit better because she has the dagger.
So what would you give PA?
If you gave PA a 1, I would say you would probably put PA at a 4.
Yeah, that's like a 3 or 4. Yeah, I think that's solid because she's still single target, doesn't really kill the creeps, but at least she can pull them away from the tower. Okay? So, if the lane is pushing into your tower, you need to have a general idea of those 2 things. How diveable are they, and do they need help defending it? So right now, based on those metrics, does PA need you right now?
She cannot. Can she draw? Does PA need me right now based on the metrics? Well, we have so many creeps that protect our tower. I would say. I'm just gonna go. It's Nyx. Is she dive up? Look at her thing. She's low HP. I think just for the fact that she's low HP, I need to be there.
Absolutely not, my friend. Absolutely not.
Really?
So, the opponent offlaner's dead. Your PA is higher level than the guy that's alive. You have literally 9 creeps, like a bajillion creeps, because you just pulled.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was kind of deciding. I'm like,
So, under your tower, heroes have benefits. I don't know how many people alone are know these
plus
things.
armor.
Plus armor, plus
Yeah.
HP regen. They're much stronger
Yeah.
underneath their own tower than normal.
I could have left. I could have done something else.
So the goal that I need you to understand is if the lane's pushing into your tower, it's a very high-level decision to make properly of whether or not you're supposed to be there or not. Because it's an
I could have done
important time.
something.
So what I'm going to show you is me showing you an example where you do need to be there, okay? So,
Okay.
This is from my game. I'm going to quickly tab out to my game. So the reason why PA and Anti-Mage are not very diveable are because, one, mostly because they have a mobility spell. Mostly because if the opponent tries to go on them and kill them, they can just get away, right? So at level 1 and 2, and early game, Lycan is the complete opposite. So if we consider Lycan on this, I'm just going into this case for an example for everyone watching and yourself. Lycan's about the same as PA in regards to D-push, because he's single target, but just like PA has dagger, Lycan can use his wolves to pull the
get the
creeps,
aggro.
right?
Yeah.
But it's about the same. So whenever you look at opponents diving, you have to think, how do they kill people with their dive? And most of the time it's slows and stuns. So a lot of times the PA anti-mage heroes are very hard to dive. But if you compare that to a Lycan, he's very easy to dive this early on in the game because he has no mobility, he has no way to get away.
Look at him moving, yeah.
Right? So
He just has his
look at this lane, right? This is a bad lane for me. The opponent's going to try to dive me. So this is an example.
Just tanks everything.
See this? I'm a very diveable hero. You don't see this happen to a PA very often.
No.
This isn't going to happen to a PA very often, okay? I'm showing
They
you this
understand
example
the
from today.
matchup, so that's why they're doing this.
That's why they're doing this to me, because they know they can. So an example of this is that not only... Notice how Oracle had to come over and help me, right?
Yeah.
With PA, you usually won't help her in that kind of scenario. I mean, obviously, if they're going nuts, you should help her. But, she
Yes.
won't often be put in that scenario because she's not diveable as much as Lycan is. So, going with that, if your carry is diveable, what is a reason you wouldn't pull?
If my carry is diveable, what is
we
it?
always talk about the goal is to pull as much as possible.
Yes.
But
yes,
what is a
yes.
potential problem if you pull?
They can just go to my freaking because you're stuck having to hit creeps under tower that they can just dive you.
Yes, but with
they
a PA, is that a concern you'll often have? Is she okay with the creeps going underneath her tower and getting chased? Is PA okay with that?
I would say yes.
Yes, right? Because she can
Yes.
always blink to you, she can get
She
away.
can just blink. She can get away. We can
Is
waste
Lycan
time.
okay with that?
No.
No! It's just that simple. It's so easy, guys. It's so easy.
That's it.
I want to show
Okay,
you something,
okay.
okay?
Okay.
This guy's rank 150 immortal, okay? You ready?
Okay.
So I've been dragging creeps underneath my tower. I'm trying to get these creeps to die because I know I'm always diveable. I need these creeps to be dead because I'm diveable.
Okay.
Look at this wave. Is this pushing
Okay.
or not? Right here.
This wave, is it pushing? Oh wait, how many creeps?
Are
do
they
we have?
pushing into us right now?
Yeah. Yes, I would say yes. Yes.
And I've
they are.
told you I'm diveable, right?
Yes.
Is
yes.
Oracle allowed to pull here?
No.
I knew I was fucked
Yeah.
this moment, right here.
Oh. I don't know why that's so funny.
Dota is a very simple game, Eri. Okay, it's not simple at all. But these metrics are metrics you and everyone watching has to use. I am with 100% confidence that my only choice here is to completely abandon my lane or die. Those are my two choices after he does that. Those are my two choices. I don't have anything as a carry hero that I can do to avoid what just happened to me. I can't avoid that.
Oh my god, that's so
The minute that Oracle supports me improperly in that lane, because I was in a bad lane matchup, I first picked my hero.
yeah.
That
So he shouldn't have pulled there. He
by
should've
pulling,
just
like
stayed
his
with you.
whole purpose in that lane is to make me not get dove. Like that's actually his job in that lane. And by him pulling, he just completely
That's such a,
makes it
such
worse.
An opposite of what I've been.
I'm
but
showing
it's so
you
nice
this
to see.
because with PA, the cool thing is the only concern she has is defending the tower. So if the lane is pushed into her tower, you don't have to concern yourself most of the time with whether or not she needs to be defended. You need to
it's the
concern
tower.
yourself if the tower needs to be defended. So if
Which
you
I do because of my dual breath.
yes, but what I'm saying is if you get this kill and then you go
Yes.
look at the lane right here, PA just doesn't need your help.
No.
Because the tower, you have 8 creeps defending it. She's hitting the creeps. None of the creeps are hitting the tower. And it takes that combination of understanding to give her all of this XP to herself.
And I can pull again, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Go pull again.
Just like keep it going. Like, hey, let my boy get his.
It
experience.
bothers me when I see a support do this. It happens in my games too. Because I'm just like, dude, you just don't need to be here. You could go do anything else. If you want to go like hold your own hand over here and just wait for the pull, I don't care. The only reason I would ever want you to come over here is to kill this guy. That's like the only reason I would ever want you here.
That's it.
But in general, like that's not very.
Am I soaking XP at that? At
Yes,
that place?
XP range
Oh,
is it's like here to like here.
Oh damn! All right, I shouldn't have been there. Then.
Yeah, so that's the you can get a feel for it by the way. Like you can go
Yeah.
into the display range private lobby thing. I actually went over this last time. I only have a feel for it. I never know the exact.
I don't. I
Length.
tried looking at it. I didn't know how to do it. It was so stupid. I was just like.
Yeah, it's hard, but it's about like right here. You can get an idea by looking at your XP bar and then
And see if I
seeing
soak
if it
Yeah,
moves. Yeah.
That's my thing. I'm just like, oh, did it kind of tick up? And then yeah, that would be my.
So that's an example where I'm, as a support, I'm always trying to look for the times where I'm taking unnecessary experience from my core. So when we consider a PA, most of the time you have to take her experience is because you're killing them or you're helping defend her tower. And then there's other carries that most carries have D-push issues. Most of them don't defend their tower all that well. Most of them.
Because
Most of them are like
would-
single target damage and they need items to like, kill creep fast.
Got you.
So you came over and helped kill.
Yeah.
This is a perfect time to... Oh, okay, so the lane's pushing back into you. Never mind. So we're about at the same time again where you might leave your lane. That's about where we are. You have a level 7 PA. They have a level 5 Necro. This is like... This is
me
par
where
for
I
the
could've
course.
left.
This is pretty much always your game.
Leap.
Like this is where
Okay.
this is where you always are, isn't it? Like we look at your games,
Yes.
7-8 minutes
Yes.
in, your carry's up by a level or two.
Yep.
Happens
They're
every
always
game.
up.
I'm pretty confident you'll have this every single game. You've shown me
Yes.
bad games too. So in
Yes.
this case, I've talked about Jakiro's strengths as a hero.
I
He
could have TP'd mid.
helped
Walked
defend.
mid.
Just helped to
Yes.
defend against what you're seeing here. And so what you're going to learn is maybe you just TP in and die to this Pugna because you've never played against Pugna before. Like I think if you TP in here, you'd probably just die. But like
Because of the Nether Ward.
the way he'd probably just decrep you, ult you, and kill you. That's probably what he would do.
Which he did a few times this game.
Yes, and so that's something where you'll learn the matchup. But you're like, I'm a Jakiro. I know that I've given this PA the start she needs, so I'm allowed to go somewhere else. I know my hero does magic damage and D-pushes waves, or pushes towers. One of the two. I know
Yes.
that's all I do. So I would look mid, see that my tower's dying, and say, man, I should probably go help defend that.
Would you have TP'd or walked there?
I'm saying that if you do one or the other, I don't care. I would have
as long as I
walked
do it.
because if you TP in front of this Pugna, you probably just die. But
Yeah,
that's like
okay.
a specific matchup thing, which I'm not even looking for you to understand specific matchups yet. I'm looking for you to understand the potential of your hero and then to assess what you can do based on your carry. Like, your carry doesn't need you anymore, so you're allowed to leave. Your hero D-pushes and pushes. Go somewhere where you
me-
can do that.
just making that decision, because all of this is automatic now. This is now. Other
You've
things I
gotten to
can
this
contribute.
point every single game, right? So it's like now we need that point to transition into something.
Now we evolve. Yes,
Yes.
we grow into something else.
So
Okay,
the
just-
funny thing is I tell you your strength as a support is to D-push towers. If your lanes are losing, you're often gonna be stuck defending towers. Like that's what your hero's gonna have to do. So
yes.
in that case, I would usually go to the lane of the team or of the guy on the enemy team that pushes. So like if you are losing the game, the previous one where you're Lina lost mid,
Yeah.
I would probably go to the lone druid's lane because your hero D-pushes, and the only thing you can do to help your team when they're losing is to D-push.
Yes.
But in the other game, since you were winning, your goal should be to play around the guys that are winning,
which was Lina.
which was Lina and the
Thing.
anti-mage. So this is an
If
example.
we were losing, then I need to leave that AM alone because I'm just like, dude, there's nothing you can help me with. I will
Yeah,
not
exactly.
get-
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the cool part about this decision. We just need
Yeah.
you making that decision in the first place. So
Got it.
we're here again. So we're going to talk, like I said, about all your decisions in regards to PA. We're just kind of seeing that the rest of the map is playing itself out, and I just want you to notice that you literally haven't interacted with PA, and nothing you've done has actually helped the PA.
Yes.
That's what I'm emphasizing to you, and as a support, last time I remember talking about this, there's so many options for things you can do in the game, even just what you did right there. It's a catapult wave. Maybe they're going to try to take your tower. You just nuked it out. Like, you just push the wave. You came back to PA's lane to gank. This is pretty standard. PA loves getting ganked for. But maybe she fucked... Oh, the Necro didn't have ult. Okay. Whew. But yeah, this is fine. You came back to PA's lane, ganked for her real quick. This is great, because like we said, PA can contribute slows. You just need damage.
Leave again.
Remember, I said PA does the slow part, but doesn't really have damage. And you said Jakiro offers damage. Your hero is great for ganking to PA. So is Tusk. Tusk does a lot of damage. So it's like,
We gave the damage.
damn, you gave the damage, and now that guy's dead. It's like, okay. Did it go perfectly? Is it always going to go according to that script? Not necessarily. But like,
Here's the shit that I was just like, this Pug.
yeah, that hero hurts, man. When he's winning.
Hell
he
yeah.
hurts.
But Pugnet doesn't really do well late game, yeah?
Yeah, like it depends. Depends on the matchups. It's like he's pretty squishy, but sometimes his decrep can be really hard to kill. Like it's if
I
you
hate
have
Slark. Can I just say, Coach, as a support, I know he's your favorite hero, but oh my god.
no, he's
do I hate
don't worry, he's trash right now. I don't have to I don't have to see him at all. So
Okay.
only you guys have to see him because he's a fun hero and he solo kills people. So people like to pick him in low and low.
Trust me, I'm on the receiving end of those solar kills.
So now we're gonna talk about PA. Okay.
Okay.
So everything you do in the game is about enabling your carry to farm. That's like all it is. So with PA, the pretty standard thing is to go. I would say most PAs go treads nowadays. So we're just gonna talk about PA's build. Most of the time, PA is gonna go like treads, maybe a couple laning items like a wand, a wraith band, or an orb of corrosion. These are all laning items. They make you do a bit more damage. They make you hit a bit faster. These are all laning items.
Faster.
Yep. So they help you with the lane. They help you get out of the early game, and then you go for like your farming item. In this case, the battle food. That's like a pretty standard carry progression. You survive the lane, and then you go farm. Like that's pretty much every game. So when it comes to PA, and every other carry in the game, I actually just recorded a video about this. Their goal is to stay in their safe lane as long as possible, without dying. Like until the point where they don't feel safe enough to be there anymore.
Okay.
So in every game, just like I told you at 7-8 minutes, it's your job to establish what lane you're supposed to go assist. A carry's job is to assess how long they're allowed to stay there. Okay. So most of the time, that's determined by how easily killable they are, but also when people, like I've told you, why do they go to the opponent? Why would people go to PA's lane? What are they normally trying to do?
Kill her.
Why do you go bottom?
Why
in that Jakiro game, did you go bottom to kill the lone druid? Why did you go bottom?
I went bottom to kill. To deep to counter push to
You
defend
went
the
there
tower.
because I told you it's your job to go kill that tower.
Yes,
That's
yes,
what I
yes,
told
yes.
you, and that's 100% why you went there, Eri. You can't lie to me.
Absolutely, yes,
Don't
yes,
lie.
yes,
You went
yes, yes.
there to kill that
No,
tower.
I was misunderstood.
No, I know.
the other game-
I'm just
yeah,
holding
yeah.
you. I'm just giving you shit.
I got you.
So-
yes, that's exactly why I went there. To
If
get
your
that lane.
PA gets booted out of lane, it is because the opponent went there to kill her tower, and she is supposed to stay there until she can't defend the tower anymore. This is what a carry that got booted out of their lane looks like. Like the enemy's hitting their tower, they don't want to be there anymore. And so the important decision for every carry player to learn is when that is. What heroes it takes, what levels and items they need to do it. If they're winning the lane, how long do they get to stay? If they're losing the lane, how long do they get to stay? And it's all based on whether or not they can defend their tower.
Was it wrong that I left or
We're all talking about PA right now.
Okay, so
So-
did PA make the right decision to leave?
I would say that I don't want even to bother with that. What I am
Okay,
going to
okay.
tell you is that if your PA is choosing to stay bottom, why would you go there if you're a support?
To make sure, one, that she doesn't die, and two, to defend that tower.
Yes.
Yes.
It's so simple.
Yes.
How often do I get supports that can't save me and can't defend my tower show up in my lane? I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing here?
Yeah.
There's only 2 reasons to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess the
Either to
third one would
save-
be to get a kill. But like,
To get a kill, yeah.
yeah, the third one would be to get a kill. But most of the time, after the laning stage is over, your choice to go to your carry is to help them defend their tower or help them live so that they can
Yes.
defend their tower. It's
Yes.
all based around whether or not you can defend your tower. So if PA leaves her lane,
This is what I
what
want.
type of supports would take her lane?
Supports that can defend the tower.
How often do I leave my lane and there's some support on my team that can just nuke out the wave and they just never go and my tier 1 tower dies?
This is what happened here.
I feel like even if I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, so if I tell you that the reason why most carries leave is because they die and they can't defend their tower,
Yes.
if you go bottom and they hunt
Go
you
on
with
me.
Nyx, use Vendetta, use Necro Reaper's Scythe and kill you, what might that mean for your PA?
What that? Oh, PA can go. Well, one, it wasn't PA that died, and it wasn't PA that got gone on. Two, maybe PA can go back because they used all their skills.
Oh my god, yes. It's so simple, but you never see it unless it's like top 50
Really?
MMR support players, I'm telling you. So, like, in this case,
Really?
I
Get
am
that
just
right?
perplexed. Yes, that's absolutely correct. Why is my
Okay.
Jakiro, not bottom, nuking it out? That is what I'm thinking. Because as a PA, the only reason I left the lane is because there's a guy that kills me with his ult. And if I stay here, I might just die.
So if I tank those skills,
If you
I'm
like
yo,
TP in
yo,
here and like macro pyre this wave and you force them to chase you under tower and they're using Reaper Scythe on you, if I'm a carry, I might like TP in and save you.
I'm like, kill him, or just get that farm,
Or
I'm like,
just
hey, I can
farm.
kill this- Yeah, just get that. I'm just like, yo, man, I got some really, really tasty looking heroes for you, man, with no skills and no mana.
And the beauty of all of this is all I asked you is why carries leave and what heroes would take over the lane, and then you would know because of that you would go here.
Fucking got it. So it's like that's enabling my PA. I'm like, yo, PA, I'm gonna take all these freaking skills. I'm gonna tank it all, and hopefully I live. But if not, you freaking kill them once they have no mana
Yes.
and no skills.
So as a carry, all I want is for you to enable me to farm, and you enabling me to farm is either killing the heroes that kill me or protecting the towers that protect me. That's like
Shit,
it's like all there is to it. So
I love it. I got it,
so
coach.
when we think about PA, most of the time when she jungles, she plays the triangle. Like if she's Radiant, she plays here. If she's Dire, she plays here.
Yeah.
Something that kind of determines where carries play is if the carry kills towers. They usually, like if you're Dire, if you're Radiant, we'll say purely from Radiant's perspective. If you're a carry that likes to kill towers, you usually play up here. Because it's a little more dangerous farm, but you can kill the tower. It's right here. But if you're a hero like PA that doesn't kill towers, there's really there's like nothing efficient about playing here. Because you can't like...
I guess Jug would have been good there.
Yeah, like if Jug usually plays up here, for example.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Jug
that's a
would've been
perfect
good.
example of like where they like to play. So if you're looking at PA and we're talking about like farm patterns, she wants to play here most of the time. Like that's usually where she'll...
After the safe lane is not safe.
Yeah, after
anymore.
it's no longer safe here. Exactly. And
got
just to tack it on, if PA doesn't feel like she's safe enough to defend this tower, but if somebody like you tanks the gank and she feels like she could help you, where might she farm?
She will TP. She will farm back here.
Maybe she'll
will
farm
TP.
like right here.
Yeah.
Because that's closer to helping you. So just like I told you as a Jakiro, you leave the lane, you decide whether or not you're willing to come back. As a carry, I think the same thing. If I never want to come back, I'm just done here, I TP away and farm here. If I'm like, I can't really defend this, but if my team decides to defend it, I'll stick around. I'll farm here, and here, and here.
And this is all in line, coach, with pushing having to take their top as well, right? Like these are decisions that I do in between doing moving around the map and pushing the way Dota's.
So what I've been teaching you is that this is what you want to do is take this tower.
Yes.
And the next layer of this is that you now have to realize that what the enemy wants to do is take this tower.
Is take this tower, yes.
So you have to consciously choose each game whether or not you're choosing to try to take this tower, or whether or not you're trying to defend this tower. Every carry is enabled in different ways. I would say heavy farming heroes like Anti-Mage and PA, they are most enabled by keeping their safe lane tower alive and killing the opponent tower. Like they're enabled by both. So it's just like the thing is that PA and Anti-Mage represent no help to you to push these towers. So you have to single-handedly be able to kill these towers without her, like meaning you or your offlaner or something. Otherwise, usually your best play is to defend.
Just to defend, yeah. Okay.
So, the cool thing that I'm trying to teach you about PA is if you feel like your tower is under threat and you're the PA, you're probably just leaving.
Yeah.
Because that's... like, PA just doesn't depush. Like,
Just
she doesn't
defend towers,
she doesn't stop the tower from dying. And this is a problem that most carries get into. I think the moment that you leave the lane and carry can simply be defined as, if the lane pushes into my tower, what happens to me? If you feel like you can farm it, you stay. If you feel like you get dove and died, you don't stay.
You leave. Yeah, if you're killable, then...
You just have to imagine if the lane gets shoved in, what happens to me. Like, that's just how carries can make this decision. So it's like, the beauty of it is, as a support, if you can understand that interaction for the carry player, you can decide whether or not you can help them here.
Yeah. Especially if PA is my win condition. Oh, well, he's my carry.
Yeah,
so like,
carry is almost always
your
your win condition, right?
Yes, so if I can make it as easy as possible and understand, or basically empathize with
Exactly. You are empathizing with how he wants to play the game. That is exactly what you are doing. So what we see here is you guys are all playing mid. This whole shit here is going on, and all I see is this and this. That's all I see. I don't give a rat's ass about any of this crap here. I see two side lanes being pushed into our tier 1. That is what I see. So as a support, as a carry, that's all that matters to me. Like, even if we get this, like, this is almost never going to result in good things. Because we see this. The PA will naturally... Okay, so what I want to emphasize now is I want you to remember that if two lanes are pushed in and you're helping your carry's job is to defend the lane that is closest to them.
To them, yes.
Their goal is to correctly put themselves in the lane that they would be willing to defend. So if I'm jungling and I'm willing to defend either mid or bottom, I will jungle here. Because that puts me between the two lanes I'm willing to defend.
Yes.
If I'm only willing to defend mid, I'm probably farming right here. or right here. If I'm only willing to defend top, I'm probably farming like right here. If I'm willing to defend mid and top, I farm here.
Because obviously you would want to defend towers too. Naturally,
Yes, because as a carry, your impact in the game to quote-unquote make space is to just clean up creep waves that are underneath towers. Like, that's
I get it.
actually
And
the
that's
way
what
a
he did
carry
here, yeah.
makes space. So I think he was a bit late here. I was watching mid, but he was a bit late here. But he was here. And so as a carry, you have to apply the same mindset that you do as a support. But the beauty of it is, the carry gets first choice. If bottom's the shittiest tower to defend, hey man, as a carry, you're never going to have to do it.
Yeah.
But if
Support does
if there's 3 towers to defend, carry gets to choose which one they want. So the cool thing is, as a carry, you're just like, which one's the easiest one? And usually you'll take that one. And then as a support, you're like, okay, which one is my carry going to take? I'll take this one.
This is such a new layer for me.
Yeah, so
that
I am
like,
emphasizing for you to work on this like 7 to 12 minute mark, because that's the point where the laning stage ends. Usually the tier 1 towers are still alive, and all we have to determine is where we're farming and where we can help our teammate farm by like defending a tower or taking a tower. Like, that's what people don't understand, and we talked about this like maybe 3 or 4 sessions ago, is that every time you defend a tower or you push a tower, it's a temporary inefficiency for a long-term efficiency.
Yes. Cool.
That's what we said. Because you're maintaining like control of the map, so it's going to give you like more jungle camps to farm. It's going to give you more area to, more time. Exactly. So, because we're like about to hit the time limit, I want to make sure we have a solid like path of improvement for you to take. So we have hit 7 minutes, and we need you to consciously think as a support
who's
strong,
and who do I play around.
And if I'm Jakiro, I'm going to be deep pushing. If I'm a shaman, I might look to gank or push. And if I'm a CM, I'm probably looking to deep push or gank. Right? Because that's what these heroes do.
Deep push. CM. Wait, a shaman is to push, right?
Shaman's more about like the pushing ganking. Yeah.
Push. And CM's in between.
Yes. And if none of those, for any of those heroes is an option, you can always look to stack camps. You can always look to sit behind the guy that you're worried about getting ganked, or sit in front of them and tank the gank. You can check runes. You can take the lane from your mid. There's so many options, but I want you to establish which one of those options is best by which hero it's supposed to be next to. That was what we had the problem with.
That's the
7 minute mark. I said, who's strong on your team, or like who makes you strong, right? And so we said, I need you to be on that part of the map, because if you're a Jakiro around that Lina, things are going to happen better for you, right? That's in general what's going to happen, right?
I do find myself having a lot of question marks at this point in the game. I'm like, I did my job laning.
And I've definitely seen it in pretty much every game. There's like this super awkward like 4 or 5 minutes where I honestly, to be blunt, don't really feel like you do much at all.
Nope.
And it can be,
I don't know. I
can
really
tell.
don't know.
That's why it's like I'm not upset. I can totally tell it's not an easy thing. Like, it's new. Like, honestly, in the laning stage, I gave you kind of a roadmap. You figured out exactly what I meant by it. You applied it in your own games. And, like, you're just kind of following it, and the game seems so simple to you. You're just like, I do this now, I go do that, I told you exactly why I did it, I give you right answers. And it's like, in this stage of the game, you're just like, I don't know. So
I don't know.
We're trying to give you that exact same roadmap now at 7 minutes to 10 minutes, because I feel like we've adequately made it so that you can replicate the laning stage over and over. Like, you've done it, like, consistently. I watch your first 7 minutes, and what I would hope for you is exactly what I see. Maybe there's some efficiencies, like we said, you can play it a bit better, you can buy your teammate a salve. But in general, the scope of what I'm trying to get you to do is, like, it's always being done. And that's exactly what means we're time to move on. So
Time to level up.
Yep, time to level up, exactly. So, with that being said, it's that 7 to 8 minute mark decision. And then, in the next 4 to 5 minutes, every decision you make revolves around defending a tower or taking a tower. That's all it is. And it's like, I want you to come back to me saying, I think it was my job to defend PA's tower. I think it was my job to go take top tower. I think it was my job to defend mid tower. I think it was my job to take mid tower. There's 4 towers that are almost always going to be the choice. It's almost never this tower or this tower. It's almost always this one, this one, this one, or that one. Almost always. So what I'm telling you is I want you to make a conscious decision. Just be like, I thought, PA left her lane. I think I was supposed to go bottom, Coach B. That's what I thought.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about it. Because right now, I would love for this to be getting farmed. I think there's nothing more useful than like a level 5, level 6 support defending a tower. And so I would probably encourage you to practice specifically Jakiro or CM for this. Because Shaman's much less of a defender than he is an aggressive player. So it's like
those are the 2 heroes I play all the time.
Yeah. So it's not like I'm telling you to learn a new hero. But with that in mind, this is the part where I promised you guys it would get a bit spicy. And Eri, I promised you it would get a little spicy. Is that I firmly believe all of this stuff is impossible to have a full picture if you only play 5. So the reason why I told you this week to play or to try to put your mind in that of a PA is that your homework before next week is not only to work on this as a support. I want like half your games to be played working on this as a support. But I want the other half of your games to be PA. I want you to be either duo queuing with somebody that you can trust or role queuing so you know you get your role. I want you to pick PA like 3rd, 4th pick. Just make sure you get the hero at least 8 to 10 times between now and next week. Okay? So what I'm going to do is because I'm purely worried about your conceptual play and figuring out like how this applies to the hero, I'm going to dumb it down as much as I possibly can with every other regard so you don't get freaked out. So you're going to freak out. Anytime I play a new hero, anytime I play a new role, I freak out. I'm going to lay out for you an exact item build. So you are going to start the game with 2 sets of tangos, a quelling blade, a circlet, and 2 branches.
Quelling blade, yes.
Okay?
Circlet.
You are going to go Wraith Band, into Wand, into Treads,
Wand,
into
Treads.
Orb of Corrosion,
yay.
Into Battle Fury.
Battle Fury for the farming.
Yes.
Got it.
Into Deso.
Ooh, nice.
Into BKB.
BKB, so that I don't die to magic damage.
Into Abyssal.
Abyssal, so that I can get those BKB freaking things.
And then, if you get that far, I'll let you come up with it, okay? I'll let you come up with... I can
have some fun.
You can have some fun with that last item, okay? Whatever that last item you want, you can go crazy. Just not Dagon,
Divine.
So, if you want to go Rapier, man, that would make for some good content. But I want that to be your item build. Your skill build is going to be level 1 Q, okay? You're going to level 1 Q.
Okay. Skill build. Okay.
I'll just type this out to you for the skill build. I'll announce it on stream. It's going to be QW, QE, QRQ, WWW. You are going to go the...
Sweet.
Why am I on the run here? You're going to be doing the health talent. So we'll go right talent, and then E, and then left talent. And then I'm actually going to have you take the blur evasion talent. So we're going to go left.
Left. Okay.
Because all the other skills have, they naturally play themselves out. So you're going to go that skill build every single game. You're going to go my item build every single game.
Oh, shit.
And the one question you have to decide is when you go to the triangle from the laning phase. Okay, from the
When
laning
I
phase,
go to
you just have to go to the triangle at some point. Okay, at some
I can
point.
do this unranked, right?
Yeah,
Coach?
you can do this in unranked. I don't want you to tank MMR. I'd actually recommend it
Okay.
be unranked.
Okay,
You can even
great.
play the
Thank you.
first 2 or 3 in bot matches. Like that might
Okay.
even ease the stress as well.
I will probably do that.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea because a lot of this you're just gonna have to get used to, like her attack animation, her
Yes.
her spell animations, her overall capabilities. You don't really know them.
Yes.
So that's what you're gonna do, and we are gonna see what you struggle with as a PA. Like, we're gonna see what you do well. We're gonna see what you struggle with. We're gonna see when you feel really strong. We're gonna see when you look really useless. We're gonna see all types of things. And the goal of next week is I'm gonna look at about half of the time we're gonna spend on Jakiro or support in general. And the other
Yes.
half is going to be talking about your experiences on PA. I think I just want
Holy-
maximum 2 games, but maybe just 1 of what you
Okay.
think is maybe your most iconic experience of PA, good or bad. You
Okay.
can just be like, wow, I feel like, because what I've noticed when I play a hero, like I showed you in that Lycan game, the things
Yes.
that go right and the things that go wrong, they pretty much always look the same.
Okay.
If I'm having a rough lane as Lycan, I'm usually getting dove. If I'm having a rough lane as PA, I'm usually losing my tower. If
Okay.
it's like the goods and the bads always look the same. So I'm
Okay.
gonna ask for like your general. When you were winning, what did it feel like? When you were losing, what did it feel like?
Did it feel like?
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna talk about as a PA. So that's your homework, guy.
carry.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm expecting some serious, 900 GPM out of you. Nah.
900 GP Gamecaster. You're putting this pressure on me, man.
I'm just
man.
kidding. I'm just
No,
kidding.
I'm good. No.
So this is the
but
goal.
yeah.
I think it's important for every support player and every core
play carry.
player to play the opposite. Because I think as core player, there's a lot of things we can do to enable our supports, and there's a lot of things supports can do to enable their cores, and a lot of it, you really do, like you said, have to empathize. You just have to put yourself in their shoes and understand exactly
Yes.
why
Oh, crap.
they need what they need out of
Here
you.
we go.
So as much as I can tell you all about these heroes, I don't think any of it will ever replace you literally playing them. But go ahead.
Knowing
Aaron.
how to play it. This is. You know what's so funny? I have been told this for so long by the community. You have to play carry if you want to be a better support.
Absolutely.
It's just like that's probably carry's telling me you gotta understand what I.
The thing
go through,
is,
dude.
as a carry, I'd emphasize to like all these top immortal players. There's a lot of them who have not. The
Yeah.
best thing they could do for themselves is take like a couple months where a fourth, maybe half of their games are just support. Like that's the best thing they could do to like expand their understanding of Dota. And it's like the problem is the first time you do it, it's like God, it's like so overwhelming. You feel like you have no idea what you're supposed to do in the game, and then eventually you realize you kind of just work it out. You're like, this works, this doesn't. This I can fight now, I can't fight here. I can farm now, I can't farm here. You just kind of figure it out.
Okay, coach.
So our goal is going to be to walk you through this time. So this week, PA. Any final questions, my good sir, before we wrap it up?
Well, this is definitely intimidating, but I'm excited. First of all, thank you for giving me the starting items because that really helps. Because I mean, that would have been like something I would really stress about. Like, what is it? But giving me this, I'm like, all right, I just have to do this and move around the map.
I will be
properly.
amazed if I see you queue up the items and buy them. I'll actually, because you are so busy trying to kill creeps and, play the lane. I will be impressed if you can have your items be bought when you have the gold to buy them.
Well, I have to go
Let
to my- I
alone
don't
thinking
even-
about what items you are supposed to buy.
Oh my god. I even have a problem doing that as a support. So okay.
that's what I
let
mean.
alone trying to hit creeps and farm.
Trust
man,
me,
my
man.
hand is gonna
Yeah.
hurt, man.
The
This is-
beauty of it is okay. I'll actually tell you. I've been my girlfriend usually plays 4. She usually that's probably the role she's played the most.
Yeah.
And she's recently she's played a bit of mid in the past, and she recently picked up playing a bit of mid. And she's like,
Yeah.
so she plays 4 position Marana, who can also kind of like double as a mid. And so she's realized that if she plays mid as a 4, when she's like CSing and stuff randomly on the map, she's just better at it. She's just like better at farming as a support because
Because you
because
get
as a
all this gold,
mid
you're
you
just
have
like,
to. Like as a mid you have to know how to farm. You have to
Yeah.
know how to be able to last it. You know.
she's getting her items faster.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny that it is an important skill for carries to know how to make space for their team sometimes, and it's an important skill for supports to know how to farm. Yes, the percentage of the time you're supposed to do it is like way less, but like
Yes.
you do have to know this stuff. So a lot of the stuff I saw you do with like lack of efficiency, or sometimes you miss your creeps, sometimes you're having trouble clicking buttons. The fact is,
time.
if you have to click 10 times as many buttons, you're getting more training.
I'm gonna get good.
Yeah,
It'll make me. I'm like, oh wait, and I can be like, you know what? Like on my solo games, I guess I could carry this. Like after a while, I'm just like, I can transition into CM carry.
The funny thing about carries is a lot of them don't really know the bigger picture of the game. The best way to learn the bigger picture of the game is to play support because you have less stuff to do and you have more time to think about the bigger picture of the game.
So it'll really just improve you. It will improve you.
It will. That's the idea. Every skill, every role has a little bit of overlap, and that's what I'm hoping to teach with this to you, as well as all the other people tuning in. So.
Oh my God! It was a hard road, coach.
It was a long trek through the Guardian trenches, my friend.
Oh my God! It was. Oh, as a 5, oh my God, man! Like it was. Coach, it was
You gotta do it, man. You gotta be an inspiration to all the people who say because they're 5 they can't climb, man. That's
you know what's so funny? I've been getting messages from the community saying, "Yo, man, it's great to see that you can actually climb." So it's
dope.
It's super dope, yeah, to see. I'm just gonna tweet that we're live, Coach B. Yeah, 1 second. We're live for episode 193. Chris here. You Gamecaster. And by the way, thank you so much, Gamecaster, for supporting this coaching series. They have chose to come aboard, and we very much appreciate it. So show them some love. And yes, thank you, Gamecaster. If you want to stream, it is absolutely free. And yes, software is super easy to use. As you can see,
I managed to use it.
Yes.
So if you guys know my history with technology, whoa! I accidentally just played a video. But if you know my history with technology, then you are absolutely fully aware that if I can pull it off, it is quite easy.
So once again, thank you for supporting this series, and again, me and Coach B, me and BSJ plan to keep this going. So support like this is definitely a big step forward for us to keep this series going throughout for as long as I hit Immortal one day.
Because there's no way that you're choosing to hang out with me unless you're paid. So.
That's not true. That's not true.
Gotta put you on the spot. Super awkward for the people out there.
Are you fisting for compliments, man? No. Of course.
I'm expressing my insecurity in a way of fishing for.
I would
compliments.
happily. I enjoy I very much look forward to these series, Coach. So these I look forward to these sessions.
I know. For people who haven't been in any of these or all of them or anything, it's definitely been a fun road. It's like humbling and it's helping me be a better coach too. So it's been a great series, guys, and looking forward to continuing it in every way. So
yep, I got some work to do, Coach.
It should be. I hope it's enjoyable. I personally think it's stressful, but like every time I'm learning a new hero or playing a different role, if I'm kind of like going into it with intent, it ends up being like it feels very rewarding afterwards. So
yes, I think the pain will be a little bit temporary.
No pain, no gain, Eri.
Yeah, I got you, Coach B. I got it. But yo, I'm excited for this because I feel that this is the next step. I'm excited for this. Naturally, I'm intimidated with playing carry, but lining it up with of course me getting better as a support, I am looking forward to it, and it's definitely new. And yeah, I'm all set for this week, Coach.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's freaking go. Thank you so much, Gamecaster, for supporting this series, man. Thank you. So we have 4 episodes of this weekly, 2-hour sessions to look forward to, and let's Let's play carry. Let's go.
Just to make sure you guys know, all of these will also be uploaded to YouTube. So if you ever
Yes.
want to rewatch them, or you missed a portion that you maybe want to see, like, or you just couldn't be here, they'll always be available on. Are you uploading them to YouTube, or is it just me? It's just me, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
just making
you,
sure.
Coach, yeah.
Just
It's
making sure.
straight
You'll
up
be
your
able to
channel,
find
Coach.
them on my YouTube.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks again, Gamecaster, and everyone who's tuned in. And I'll see you next week, Eri.
Thank you so much, Coach B. And again, thank you, Gamecaster, and I look forward to it. I'll see you next week.
Yep, see ya.
See ya. Bye.
If you liked this video, please like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that shenanigans, because at the end of the day, YouTube does care about that. You may not care about it, I may not care about it, but the YouTube algorithm does. So please do.